The Boss Katana. It sucks. It's trash. Worst amp ever, and it's way too complicated. Now, if you know me and follow my channel, you know that's not how I feel about it. I love my Katana Mark II. In fact, I love it so much that I kind of want to get a Mark I just to play around. So why do people think it sucks? And why do they go to great lengths like joining a Katana Facebook group or commenting on a YouTube video to tell everyone? They're like those people that see a Walking Dead article and they feel they need to comment that they stopped watching after season 3. Nobody cares. Move on. Often they say it sucks because, well, they don't know how to use it. But don't tell them that, because they'll fire back on how they've been playing music some odd years, and that's all great. That just means they can turn a knob. Can you do that with a Katana? Absolutely. I know plenty of people that only use a Katana panel and they get the sound out of it that they want and they're completely happy. Honestly, I wasn't happy with the sounds that I was getting out of it before I installed Tone Studio and was able to access everything it has to offer. Personally, I think it's pointless to buy this amp if you're only going to use the panel, but that's just my personal opinion. And if you're cool with just the panel, why should I care? Is it too complicated? It certainly can be. If you just want an amp to turn knobs, I recommend a completely analog tube or solid state amp, because the Katana is probably not for you. Another reason they don't like the Katana is because they can't get it to connect to their PC. Yes, this can be a daunting task, but there are a ton of videos of the firmware upgrade and Tone Studio install online, a few of which I've done, and they've helped so many people. Sometimes the problem is some people just can't follow directions, or they don't listen because they swear up and down that they've already tried everything. Sometimes you just have to forget everything and start from scratch and follow along to a 5-minute video that will save you hours of frustration. Boss and Roland doesn't have live help, and if you contact them, they're going to tell you that you probably did something wrong, and they're probably right. Drivers not downloading, wrong Tone Studio or firmware version, or not copying the files over correctly are just a few of the main reasons that you can't get this thing connected to your computer. And at this point, after almost 7 years since the release of the first Katanas and several updates later, you would think that Boss would make the firmware and Tone Studio updates a bit more automated and we could do it from Tone Studio. Or they could have developed a mobile app for the Mark I or Mark II like the Katana Air has. I certainly hope they think about that when they decide, or if they decide, to develop a Mark III. Lastly on this topic, if you comment that you can't get it to connect and I offer help, don't give me an attitude when I start asking questions about specifics or give you some kind of direction. If you're not willing to listen or follow directions, don't even bother. I'm willing to help by offering support to someone I don't even know on my own time for a product that doesn't sponsor me. So I don't appreciate it when people get all pissed off at me when I'm trying to help them. I don't work for Boss. Boss doesn't pay me. I barely make any money off of this. I'm doing it just to help people. Give me a break. Why else might people say Katana is trash? Because they can't get the sound they want out of it through their computer for recording. Granted, sometimes it does take a little know-how, a little bit of tweaking of the levels and experimentation to get it sound just right, especially with the many different DAWs and operating systems people use. I will say that if you bought a whole amp only to use for recording into an interface in a DAW, just save your money, save your time. Buy some plugins like Amplitude. If you're never going to use a speaker, why even spend the money and take up the space? Amplitude 5 Max is like 99 bucks. Buy a $30 Behringer DI box to level out your guitar tone and just go all software. Why even waste your time with an amp if you're never going to play out? Amps and the technology they have now are 1,000 times better and way more affordable than they were 30 years ago when I started playing guitar. A 50-watt amp with a 12-inch speaker and over 60 built-in effects and endless possibilities for 270 bucks, it's unheard of. Is the Boss Katana perfect? And is every unit from the factory going to be flawless? No. But is it trash? Does it suck? Is it the worst amp ever? I guess it's all subjective to the user, and well, sometimes the user is the problem. The Katana is not for everyone, and at times it can be a little complicated, but it's far from trash. And if you're willing to put the work in and learn this amp, the possibilities and tones are almost infinite. Now, if you want to learn more or are just doing research before you buy a Katana, like everyone should, take a look around my channel. I got a bunch of videos on the Katana that you might find helpful. You might even want to subscribe and maybe like a few of those videos. Please and thank you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.